Welcome to We the Thunder. I'm Shooter. He's Schooley. Together, we create We the Thunder, an unofficial Tampa Bay Lightning podcast. I'm Schooley. You know, you're not a real fan until you've gotten a cease and desist from your favorite team, right? That's what they say. That's what they say. So we're there, Thomas. Um, so we got a good
Listen, I'm
show.
glad it was finally you that his name was brought up. So, because I've been called to the principal's office one too many times. So,
Yeah, you're already.
I'm glad it's you
They've already had a
that got called to
dartboard
the.
with you on it, and it's washed out. I can't even tell it's you. Now it's me. So, anyway, more on that tomorrow at our unofficial Tampa Bay Lightning watch party at Tampa Joe's. I'll remind you throughout the show, but yeah, if you want to come watch the game with us tomorrow, we will be at Tampa Joe's. The puck drops at 8. We're gonna be there at 7. Come out early, come have dinner, come watch the game. We've got $2 blue Jello shots. So Thomas Schooley is going to be toasted off those blue Jello shots, and of course we've got some giveaways and tickets and all that kind of stuff. So we want you to come out. So if you can come out for that, join us in person. Do that. But guess what? I'm going to bring a camera. I'm gonna make the people that can't make it jealous because we're going to set up the camera just like we did down at Dignitary a couple weeks ago. So anyway, we'll talk a little bit more about that. I want to bring our guest on tonight. We got a really interesting guest. I can't wait to kind of hear her story of what she's got going on here, and she's going to give away a puck, and I'll let her give you the details on what puck that is. If you've been following us for a while, you know what it is already. But let's bring our guest on, and it is Tay from the Hockey Collective. Tay, welcome to We the Thunder. We're the bad boys of podcasting. I don't know if you knew that. Uh-oh, you're muted. We lost you.
Oh no, there we go. Okay.
Oh, there you go.
Sorry, I said I've noticed you two both getting in trouble with the team already, and you're getting your cease and desist from the lawyers, and goodness gracious, for your unofficial watch party.
That's all good. It was nothing too bad. So we're not on the naughty list quite that bad yet.
I don't know. It sounds like Thomas might already be, but you're just starting.
He is. We got to change Thomas.
I was starting to get off of it this year. I thought, okay, I was keeping my P's and Q's this year until
Now, by association, the shooter, you're getting in trouble too.
Yeah, that's why I prefer to remain behind the scenes, but not doing so well at that this year. All right, so tell us first, the Hockey Collective. What is this? What do we need to know about it? Because I don't know. I just started following you. You're selling pucks. You're giving away pucks. You're going to give away one tonight, right?
Yeah, Victor Hedman puck we're going to give away tonight. I'm going to let you tell them how it works because I want to make sure that they get their instructions correctly on how we're going to give it away. But we're giving away a Victor Hedman puck tonight, signed by him, and it was signed last season, I believe. So it's a 23-24 official game puck.
There you go. It looks like people are starting to figure it out. Derek's already on there. Bolts Virgo's already on there. All you have to do, hashtag Heady in your comment. That automatically enters you. You'll see your name pop up on that box right below Tay. And we'll pick a winner here before we wrap up the show. So go ahead and look, Derek's playing the system. He's on 2 platforms.
I was going to say, Derek got the last thing. So you guys, if you guys notice, you can play the system. There's many platforms you can watch us on and comment us on. So if you're watching us right now on Facebook, open your Twitter or X while you're opening that X and you're listening to the story. You can also go ahead and follow the Hockey Collective, which is how we got Tay on the show today, because I just stumbled across it on X one day. I saw somebody else had tweeted about it, and I was like, oh, that's a Tampa Bay Lightning puck. And then I saw there was another puck up for grabs, which was a Nick Purvix. I wish I had it right here in reach.
Well, that actually has a really cool story behind it that I'm going to share with you guys tonight about that Nick Purvix puck.
And a story that I have, and you're wearing the jersey also, that you might not know, that during the show in the 2020 season, the COVID year, my mom passed away
I did
4
see your
days
comment, and
before the.
I'm very sorry for your loss, but I did see your comment, and
Uh,
I the raffle picks, but I was very glad that it went to you because I had seen your comment about your mom, and I thought that was a really good fit and a good home for it.
Yeah, so I try to collect as many of those cancer pucks as possible. So I had won the Nick Pervix puck, and then I was like, you know what? I seen you give away a couple more, and then you gave one away during the Four Nations, and
Yep.
I was like, okay, shooter, we got to get her on the show. And so I was like, let's get her on the show, and hear how you started this, why you started this. I know you get donations from other people on
No, I
different
don't
pucks. So
actually
if
at all.
anybody.
I
No.
get an occasional. I've had one puck donation, and then Outcast. I do want to shout out him because he is constantly sending me stuff like this Tampa Bay Lightning um, Stanley Cup 2004 team thing that we're going to be giving away here in the near future. But he's just randomly sending me stuff from his collection to give away. So I do want to shout out him really quick. And then Brit Bolts did a giveaway with us, but otherwise everything comes out of my own pocket. I do have an occasional, very rare but occasional giveaway from someone else, but otherwise I pay for everything out of my own pocket.
I know what that's like, and it's very expensive. So
It is. It
tell
is.
us how you started this and why you started this.
So this starts back in 2023, December of 2023. It actually starts back to when I was 10 years old. I was diagnosed bipolar at 10 years old, and I started seeing a therapist once a week, every week. And I might get a little teary eyed, but it's very hard to talk about, so bear with me. I started seeing the same therapist once a week, every week for 19 years. 19 years, I saw this woman. She became my friend. We had breakfast every Wednesday. We watched movies together. It was a great time. She fought a silent battle with cancer, didn't tell anybody. And I got a phone call one day, December of 2023, from her husband that she had passed away. And I had no idea that she was sick. She had had cancer before and beat it. And so she felt like, I guess, I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna be fine. I'm not gonna tell anybody. So it was a very sudden loss. I was not in a good place. As you can imagine, being bipolar diagnosed at such a young age, that therapy is crucial. And one thing I learned during this experience is that therapy is just as important as taking my meds regularly. I went about 6 months without therapy, and it like turmoil for all my relationships with my fiance, with my family, with everybody. It was really rough, and I finally started seeing a new therapist, and I started seeing her, I want to say March of 2024, um just like sporadically and then like more consistently. And when I maybe it had to have been later than March of 2024 because it was like 5 6 months that I didn't have therapy. It doesn't matter. But anyway, so she told me that I needed to find a hobby, something that would focus my mind through the grieving process and kind of do that. Well, I had gotten into hockey the year prior, and as you know, hockey is not the most inclusive sport in the world, of mental health, of LGBT, which I fall into that category as well. So I wanted to create a community that was more inclusive, made it feel like just a small little community of hockey people who maybe didn't feel like they belonged with their team or with the other fans that cheered for their teams because maybe they have differing views or whatever, or because they just don't feel like they're supported because they're LGBTQ or they have mental health issues or whatever it may be. And so that was the point of the Hockey Collective. And I started by doing giveaways because what's one way to grow a social media profile other than, you know, doing giveaways? And it just became a huge thing. And each puck that I gave away, there was always a story that went with it as to why that person was excited with it, with why they got that puck. And it helped me heal each time I did that giveaway and did that good deed for that person who enjoyed that puck for whatever reason they had that they enjoyed that puck. And everybody always shares with me why they enjoyed it. Your reasoning was one of my favorites. And how I came about giving away that Nick Perbix puck was actually pretty cool. Outcast, who I had mentioned earlier, who gives me all this stuff, he won a Matt Boldy puck. Now he's a Tampa Bay Lightning fan, but he had won a Matt Boldy puck, a Minnesota Wild puck, and he was really excited about it. And he sent me a picture of it in his collection. And I noticed that he had the Jonas Johansson Hockey Fights Cancer puck. Now, Jonas Johansson is not the greatest goaltender in the world, but he is one of my favorite players because Shelly, my therapist who passed away, when JoJo got I don't remember if he was traded to our team or if he was picked up as a free agent, but when he came to our
Free
team,
agent.
okay, free agent. So when he came to our team, I had gone to the game at the Kia Center when Vasi was hurt and JoJo was filling in for him for a while that season. And I had gone to the game at the Kia Center, and my fiance had gotten us tickets right above where the players' tunnel is. So he did his interview with Gabby Shirley right there. And they were talking about his nickname JoJo, and they were just talking about like a whole bunch of different other things. And I was like right there, like looking down. I could see them. I have pictures from it. And I was telling Shelly this story one day in therapy, and she had this like, that like deep belly laugh that some people have that just makes you laugh with them. You can't help but like laugh with that person. She had that. It didn't come out all the time. But so I was telling her about JoJo, and she thought I was screwing with her about this grown man who skates on knives and gets called JoJo by an entire fan base and his teammates. Right? Like she thought I was completely and totally screwing with her. And so she let out that deep belly laugh. And I was like, what are you laughing at? Like, what's so funny? And she told me. And then when she realized that that's actually what they call him, she laughed again. And so I have this memory that I'm very fond of with her of in that moment. And so I really wanted the Jonas Johansson puck. And I said to him, I said, I'll trade you 1-for-1, or I'll even throw in a second puck. Like, I know that Nick Perbix is not necessarily anybody's favorite player. Like, it's not really a collectible item, like I understand that. And so I'm willing to throw in another puck with that. And he was like, I don't want anything. He says, I just want to, as a thank you for all that you do for the hockey community, I just want to give you this puck. And so he gave it to me. Well, I felt bad having the Nick Perbix puck, and I was like, like I have 2 of them now. Let me do this as a giveaway. And so I did it as a giveaway, and then Thomas, you ended up getting it, and I just thought that was a really good home for it to go to. I read your comment about your mom, and I was like, I'm really glad that the raffle app picked you because I thought it was a really good home for it. So the jersey, the Hockey Fights Canty jersey, says Adamson on the back, which is her last name, and has JoJo's number on it. My parents got it for me for Christmas.
Oh, that's Hold really on, cool. I got a picture of that. I have about 30 of the Lightning Fights Cancer pucks. I try to buy them every year, and then a lot of times they put them up for sale, and I grab them.
There it is. There's the back of your jersey.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, that's a pretty cool story, and I'm with you. It's fun to give away stuff.
It is fun to give away stuff.
Thank you so much.
My mom, who I think is watching, doesn't fully understand me spending money on other people. Like because I'm living at home with my parents right now, and so like I need to be paying my bills, not doing that. But like for me, it's about more than just spending the money on the puck. It's like what people don't really understand, even the people close in my life, and I have some of my family tuning in tonight, is that giving away these pucks has helped heal me with each puck. Like each puck has its own story, and each person is excited about it for their own reason. And each time that I've done this, a little piece of me that was completely broken is just slowly starting to heal. So
that's really cool.
No, I totally get it. Like when I started the group Thunderbolts, it was a way for people that couldn't afford to go to games we give away free tickets to there all the time. It was a way for fans to be able to be able to get closer to the team without being able to spend the money. Because I know growing up, I couldn't afford tickets. It didn't until the 2016 season, I couldn't afford season tickets. I finally got to a point where I could get season tickets. I used to stand in line. They used to do $8 tickets for the day of the games. And so, but you had to start there like at 9 a.m. in the morning. So I'd drive up and go there and buy a whole bunch of tickets. And through Thunderbolts, I've been able to, Stephanie, who's in here right now, she's an admin. She was one of the originals that helped me start Thunderbolts. We've given away so many pucks that we buy out of our pockets, then we go and get signed, and then we raffle them off, and we've raised over $35,000 for charity through those things. And then if you go to how many I've taken, I think it's like well over 250 people to their very first game ever. And the amount of people that have came back to a second game. And that's where you connect with people, is you you find a passion and you find a love, and then it makes it that much better sharing it with somebody else. So with you, like the stories of when someone gets a puck, me, it's when I take someone to a game and then they're like, wow, I want to come to a second game. I want to come to a third game. Or they became a season ticket member or something like that. And it's just like that heals you that much better. And I think that's the same with Shooter with this podcast. You know,
Yeah.
years down the road, we make no money from this. You know, this we actually spend more money than we get for anything. But it's the people that come up to us that say we enjoy watching the show, the people that interact with us now in the talk when we do these watch parties like we're doing tomorrow, unofficially, the watch party we're doing tomorrow. You know, it's those people that come up and are like, thank you for doing this, thank you for joining us. And like Serena said here, we become a huge family, and it's true. It is a huge Tampa Bay Lightning community.
Yeah, so I actually one of the other things, and Dave just commented this, and that made me think of it, is I actually sold some of my own personal pucks so that I could afford to be able to give away some of these extra pucks that I've gotten, which was a really hard decision, but it was the right thing to do because it's helping me heal, and I can always find another puck down the road. You know, like I can always, it's not necessarily have, like I sold him a Anthony Cirelli Pride puck from last year, and that was a hard one to part with because everybody loves Anthony Cirelli. How can you not, right? But the Pride puck, to part with that was hard. I do have the 2 mystery pucks because the Lightning did agree. I reached out to the foundation and said, hey, I do giveaways. Could I purchase 2? I haven't gotten mine yet. I'm still waiting on mine in the mail. Who'd you get?
Radish.
Okay, so my nephew has become obsessed with Radish. He has become obsessed with hockey. This kid runs around the living room when hockey games are on, and it doesn't matter what team. Like, he's a big Lightning fan, but it doesn't matter what team's on. He'll run around the room with an old cane, and he flipped it upside down so it's like a hockey stick, and he'll run around and like take a ball and just like hit the ball and like repeat what the announcers are saying when they score goals. And so we were looking at the roster, and I was like, do you have a favorite player? And he picked Darren Radish, and he picked Darren Radish, and he said, I picked him because he's bald like daddy. He's 7. Okay. So like to him, that's like the coolest thing. Like, this guy's bald like daddy, so I'm gonna pick him. But so I bought him his first collectible, and I went online and found a reverse retro Darren Radish puck, and I bought it for him and started his collection for him. And then for his birthday, I'm gonna get him a Darren Radish jersey. I'm just working on trying to figure out how to get one of the black ones customized for a kid, and also a little hockey, 2 nets and some sticks to be able to play hockey indoors in the house. So he has no idea. But
and you live in Orlando, right?
I live in Brevard County for the week, and then I go to my fiance's in Orlando on the weekend.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So. Do you guys get to go to games?
We don't go to as many Lightning games as we used to. So when we first met, I'll go ahead and tell this story now. So when we first met, she was working for the Tampa Bay Lightning. I'm not going to say what she did there, but she was working for the Tampa Bay Lightning, and she was in charge of a group of tickets that they would have like left over at the end or whatever. So I would go to Lightning games. So I would leave work at 3:00 in Brevard County over by the Kennedy Space Center. 3:00, sit in rush hour traffic on I-4 and drive all the way to Tampa for the weekend. And then I would drive back either the Sunday night after the game or Monday morning. Shout out to my boss for not firing me, even though I was always late, because, you know, that's a really long drive. And I had to be at work at 7 a.m. So I was never on time. But I drove over there every weekend and would go to the Saturday and Sunday Lightning games. I would go over during the week sometimes, like just take days off and go over for a weekday game. And I would go to the game while she worked. And that's how I became a Lightning fan. I had never seen hockey before. It was never really anything we did as a family growing up. We were college football people. Like, that was our thing. Big UT fans, University of Tennessee fans.
Volunteers.
Yeah, Rocky Top, you'll always be. Well, guess what?
Yeah, I figured as much. You live in Florida. I figured as much. But so never like thought of like hockey as a thing, and I didn't start dating her because she worked for the Lightning. Like I just really liked her. We didn't meet until our first date was a Solar Bears game. We met in the middle in Orlando, and then stayed in a hotel together that night because like we both drove a long ways, and the Lightning quickly became a saving grace for me in a lot of ways. Like my mental health was tied to the Lightning, as most people's are, right? And my mental health professional would always check on me and be like, "Hey, do we need to adjust your meds? How are the Lightning doing?" Like big problem for a while. I learned to regulate it a little better and not so much let my moods rely on how the Lightning were doing.
I'm so glad my wife's not watching.
But why? Because she'd say, "Oh my God, that's you."
She's like, "Why are you so grumpy?" "Oh, the Lightning lost." I'm like,
Yeah,
"No."
yeah. So I've missed a lot of games this season because I've been so insanely busy. And leading up to this, I started watching all the games leading up to this so that I would make sure that I was up to date with what was going on. And because Bjorkstrand is one of my favorite players of all time, and he's on our team now. So now I'm like, oh my God, I can't miss any more games. Like one of my favorite
how'd
players
that
is now on the
happen?
team.
How were you a Bjorkstrand fan before he came here?
So my second team is the Kraken. Philip Grubauer is my favorite goalie. He has not done so great lately, but he's just a genuine, down to earth kind of guy. And like he just, I started watching them in the playoffs that year, 2023, and that's how I became a Philip Grubauer fan. And so then from there, I would watch the Kraken to support him, and Bjorkstrand became, you know, one of my favorite players. So
Yeah. So you must have been excited about that trade then.
yeah, I was very excited about the trade and to have Yanni Gord back because I wasn't a fan when we had Gord, and everybody always talks so highly of him. So I was excited to be able to get to see him play on our team. So
cool. Well, I'm loving this because you guys are talking a lot. I don't know if people watching are noticing me on mute, like coughing up a lung. I do not feel well. So you guys
you're doing a great job. You're being a great trooper.
I'll listen and monitor the chat. By the way, it's Tay from the Hockey Collective. If you want to enter to win that Hedman puck, you just got to type in hashtag Hetty in the comments. You'll see your name on the box on the screen. That means you're in, and we'll do a drawing here towards the end of the show. Also, make sure you follow Tay on Twitter. She's the Hockey Co, which you can see is spelled out there, HCKYCO. I told her if the winner is not following you, you just send that puck to me. Okay. So make sure you go follow the Hockey Collective. I want to hear about. So you kind of got into the story of how your. Is it now wife?
Not yet.
Not yet. Fiance.
So just open, honest, real quick. So during my time of losing my therapist, we kind of went through a lot together. And so right now we're kind of on a healing journey together. We both very much agree that we're the people we're meant to be with. But we're living separately to kind of like it's been a good healing process for me, finding ourselves, growing and dealing with some of the things that we went through when I was in that period of like complete and total utter turmoil. So I want to shout out her because she's going to watch this after she gets off work tonight. She has been an absolute trooper through this whole thing. My biggest supporter when starting the Hockey Collective, even though she is very much, again, a private person. So like she doesn't understand like growing social media like that and that kind of thing.
Well,
but
she's not too private right now because she's on the screen.
Yeah, there you go. So she has been my biggest supporter in this, and I really want to say thank you to her because I wouldn't have continued it without her. So
that's awesome. So tell us about this night. This was a night. What night was this? This was the playoffs 2023.
2023 playoffs, game 6, round 1. My now fiance, who was working for the Lightning at the time, proposed to me on the Jumbotron at that game.
There it is. And I had so many questions. You already kind of told me though, but like I was curious. How do you make sure you're in front of that Jumbotron? Because, in intermission, I'm walking around all over the place usually. How did she make sure that you saw this? Because I always see, stuff like this and even like just the happy birthday messages, which are usually at the same time, and I'm like, what if
Yeah.
the person was getting a hot dog and missed it?
Yeah. So she had told me to meet her over by the section where she was working that night. And that way we could just have a private moment. But I didn't know that at the time that it was a private moment. But me, I'm not a surprises person. I don't like surprises. My family, like I said, some of my family is watching tonight, and they will second me when I tell you I'm not a person who likes surprises. I wanted to be proposed to, but I'm not like I'm not a surprise person. I can't let surprises be. I always have to figure out what's going on. I'm always a person who likes to be in the know. And so when she told me to meet her at the section, it wasn't until I got to where she was that I figured out that she was proposing, but I let her have it and I didn't say anything until after she proposed. Like I didn't want to ruin the moment. So she proposed to me when it came across the screen, and I grabbed a quick picture really quick because, as you know, they're not up there very long. But then we just shared a quick moment, and then she went back to work, and then we went out to dinner to celebrate that night. So
Well, that's awesome. Congratulations. That's
Thank
a
you.
cool story. I wish I was.
I do want to tell you, anytime you guys want to go to a game, don't buy seats. You can have my seats. I have 2 seats.
Thank you,
Any
Thomas. I
game you guys
appreciate that.
want.
I might
The only
not
ones
use. I might take you up on that, but to take my nephew, if that would be okay, because he is like dying to
that's
go.
fine.
Okay, I might take you
So
up on that.
we'll talk after the show. I'll
Yeah,
tell you some way in case you don't know how to get in with some signatures for your nephew and
yeah,
make a whole day out of it. And
I appreciate that. Thank
the
you.
only one I don't have left is I don't have Utah and I don't have the Islanders because we're giving them away tomorrow night.
No worries, no worries. I appreciate it.
But
Yeah,
any of the
I might have to take you up on that.
you
My brother and sister-in-law will come too, but they can buy their own seats somewhere else.
yeah.
I'm reading the chat.
Yeah, I work has been crazy, so I have been trying to, just give my tickets away a lot. So yeah, any game you want to go to, just let me know. And the last game of the season, I have to go to that one. Not that they'll ever pick me
Yeah,
from
no.
Jersey back, but just in case they decide to pick me for.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's not
Yeah.
one you want to miss. So my sister-in-law texted me. I have a I think she's 4 months old now. I have a 4-month-old niece, and she is sitting watching us on the podcast while they eat dinner. She's sitting in her little, those little bumbo chairs that you can put on like the table
Yeah.
or whatever. She's sitting. I'm not going to share the picture cuz we're very private people when it comes to our children, but she's very cute, and I'll send it to you, Shooter, so that you can see. She's watching us while we talk.
That's awesome.
So
We
have a
need some more younger
4-month-old little viewer going on over here.
Does she know how to subscribe?
Does she know how to subscribe? I don't know, but I think my brother probably could do it. So, but they're eating dinner as a family, and they set up their laptop to be able to watch us. So,
Shooter sound like a little creepy there.
yeah.
Does she like? We like little ones that like to watch, and can she subscribe? This ain't no OF profile here, okay? But yes, if you guys do watch us on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel, and then also follow all 3 of us on Twitter. Shooty Shoots, the Hockey Collective, and mine. What am I? Tommy Boy 1014, I believe.
And We the Thunder.
Follow us on there. We the Thunder Pod, and you can join Thunderbolts. But yeah, so
Really quick, hold on before we start something else. I got permission to share this picture, so Shooter, I'm sending it to you. If you could put it up for us really quick, so everybody could see our 4-month-old little viewer.
That's precious. Hold on.
Oh.
That's funny. Listening intently to Shooter. I like it. I heard she's crying when Thomas Schooley speaks.
Probably. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
That's cute. All right. What reminder for anyone that does not know, we have an unofficial watch party tomorrow night.
Unofficial specifically.
Is the keyword.
Unofficial. And this is an unofficial, or no, this is a fan podcast.
We may or may not, probably will, give away 2 pairs of Lightning tickets tomorrow night. You got to be there to do it. So if you're just gonna view on when we stream to YouTube tomorrow, you're not going to be eligible. You got to come in to be there for intermission to win the tickets. We've got Tuesday's game next week against the Penguins, and then Saturday's game against the Islanders. A pair to each of those games. So make sure you come join us tomorrow night, and we'll have some other cool surprises too. We're gonna do a shooter game tonight as well, but I do want to talk a little about the team.
You know what? Really quick before you go, how about we also give away at your thing, and I will send it to you so that you can get it to the winner, or I can just get it to the winner. Let's do Nick Paul puck. How about that?
Nick Paul puck.
Yeah.
Okay.
To give away tomorrow night at your unofficial watch party.
Okay. We'll do the same thing.
Wasn't Serena the one that won the Four Nations puck?
She was, yes.
Yes.
Did she? Do we know if she ever got that? Because I never heard if she got that, or maybe I did.
It's in the chat here. So Serena, did you get the? Because I see her in the chat here. Did you get the Four Nations puck? And if she did, I know where she lives, so I can go take that from her.
Do not take that from her. She won that fair and square.
For doing that,
you should have paid better attention. I just sold my personal Jake Gensel USA puck, so
we did that for the USA Canada championship game, and we had a lot of people enter because we broadcast the whole game for 3 hours, which was a lot of fun, except for the
poly puck, really quick. I don't have it in my hands yet, but it has been shipped and it will be here in a few days. And so then I'll get it out to the person as soon as I get it. Just like with the Yanni Gord puck, I had just ordered it, and so they had to wait like half a week or something like that. And then I was able to ship it out to them. So whoever wins the poly puck, let them know that they will get it. I just don't have it physically in my hands yet, but I know that it's coming because it just told me it shipped today. So
and we will make that eligible.
Said yes, she did.
Oh, she did get it.
Serena just said yes, she did. Thank you.
Perfect. Awesome.
And a shout out.
Sonia's here.
We have the great Sonia Bryson.
My favorite anthem singer.
A lot of people have been asking about her mom. She did do an update. Her mom's doing better. She did an update in Thunderbolts. I think she did it on her Twitter or X. But it's great to see Sonia in here. Can't wait to see her during the playoffs. And it just so happens every single game she's been down, I have not been at. So we have missed each other like for the longest time. So I can't wait to see her again.
I'm hoping that she's back if I go to a game, because she's my favorite anthem singer. Any sporting event I go to, she's my favorite.
Yeah. Stephanie said you ship faster than the Lightning Foundation. She promises.
Girl, trust me, I know. I'm still waiting on my mystery pucks for Pride, and I also was talking to somebody, and they're still missing their was it Heritage Night that they did or something like that? They still haven't received that either. But trust me, I know that I ship faster than them. I always feel bad when I'm like taking too long, or like I was sick on Monday, and so like I was supposed to ship out something on Monday and I couldn't, so my dad took it and shipped it out yesterday because I was like, I did not feel good. I did not feel like going anywhere on Monday, and I was like, so dad took it and shipped it yesterday. But I always feel bad taking too long.
Hold on, we got breaking news. Look what Sonia said.
I know, I see that. Hold
on, that deserves some sort of
I'll be there next week
for that. Oh, I got the perfect sound effect for that.
Here it is for you guys. Enjoy.
Little Vassy, enjoy. So Sonia back next week, and we got a full schedule of games, and you can go to the games if you come to the watch party and win. And heck, we'll do that poly puck for anyone that can't join us. We'll have it up virtually, just like we're doing.
There we go. Yeah, it's perfect.
We'll have it so you can just comment #poly tomorrow. Keep in mind, because I know some people have kind of complained about this, when we do these virtual watch parties, we are literally just watching the game. It is not the podcast. We'll interact with you if we see comments and stuff, but don't get mad at us if we're not being completely interactive, because really we set up the camera, you watch us watch the game, you're probably going to get jealous because you're going to see all of us having a good time. The other thing is Dallas.
I told Thomas that when you guys do a watch party for playoffs, I will make the trip over to Tampa and come do a watch party for playoffs. I just can't right now. I can't take time off work because I took the day off on Monday, so I cannot take another day off.
Playoffs is a different story. So
what's that? Yeah, exactly. So when a watch party comes around for playoffs, I will be there and I will be seated.
Well, we'll see, because this is kind of like I wanted to do this to really see if Tampa Joe's is really going to be our playoff spot for away games. So we'll see how tomorrow goes. They've been very great with everything so far.
Since Sonia's watching real quick, I just want to show this. I was going to text it to her earlier, but I've been slammed all day. 8 years ago, look at those two right there. 8 years ago, me and Sonia, there's a little throwback there at the Bolts Carnival, which I believe was the last carnival they did. And I'm sure because Stephanie's tagged in some of these pictures with me, so I'm sure they came on Stephanie's memories today. But yeah, 8 years ago, me and Sonia there getting some pictures together.
That gives me an idea, Thomas. We could do an unofficial Bolts Carnival.
Yeah. With no Bolts players playing, but just come.
All right. Well, I want to do this game and we'll do the giveaway, but I want to talk a little bit about the last week of Bolts hockey, because we had Eric Erlinson on last week, Tay, and we were kind of talking fans off the ledge because we had 3 bad showings. We beat Buffalo, but we lost 2 games before that show, and we weren't scoring many goals. And of course, 1 week later, the team looks unstoppable again.
They do.
So the roller coaster season continues. Any comments from you guys about the recent games? I mean, have you noticed anything different about the team, or you think like the puck's just going their way now?
I like to joke that the Tampa Bay Lightning are more bipolar than I am, and that's saying something, but I just feel like they can't be consistent about anything. Like it's hard to watch because you never know which way it's going to go. Like, okay, so for example, I know some people who do sports betting. Let's just say that. And I tell them never bet on the Lightning because you never know what you're going to get. Okay? Yeah. Like don't ever just don't, because you never know if it's going to turn out good. The odds could say that we are going to win by like 1,000%. Nope, not necessarily.
Yeah.
That's always my advice to people who do sports betting is do not bet on the Lightning.
I think
we talked to Eric last week, and Eric, but when we talked to Eric last week, Eric said how not that they're purposely losing, there just is no like urgency.
Because I mean we're in second place, so it's right. I mean technically we're in first if you want to be technical about it.
Right, because we have a game in hand over them, and then if you go by rows, it's in first. But so I'm sitting there and I'm looking. The magic number right now is 23. Won't change tonight. Nothing will change tonight. Montreal lost tomorrow. A Tampa Bay win tomorrow will be a good swing of points. So right now, Montreal losing anytime decreases the Lightning's number because
they're on a streak.
They are.
And guess who else
and
is?
Then the other.
Dallas has won 8 straight at home.
Yeah. No, I know.
We're going.
I'm a little nervous about that one.
The other team that also will benefit the Lightning losing is Columbus. So a Columbus loss and a Montreal loss makes the magic number a little bit less. Is it 19 now, Steph? I'm sorry.
I thought it was 19.
Then 19 now. So any kind of Montreal loss or a Columbus loss would decrease because those are right now the two fighting for 7th and 8th place to get into the playoffs.
Yeah.
So if we tie them, we have rows, so we get the playoff spot. So that's all we have to do. But you saw the reinsurgent this last week of Anthony Cirelli, Brendan Hagel, Nick Paul, So, and Vasi, I think, answering to all the critics who were saying sit his ass down, trade him, he's washed up, he's
those
hurt.
People are stupid.
If
you're one of those people and you're watching this, you're stupid.
Oh, they're out there. I mean, last Tuesday they were out in full force after that game. But I mean, the stats.
Trade Vasi. Get out of here. Y'all are drunk.
I've got the stat here from Jody on Facebook earlier. What was this week? I mean, Vasi's right up there. One and two in all the categories. And people are still saying we're paying this guy too much. We got to get rid of him. I mean, if we don't have Vasi, I don't know if we're a playoff team. How's everyone?
Who do we trade him for? Do you know what I mean? Like, who would we even trade him for that would be as good or better than him? Like, there's not a lot of goaltenders out there that are as good or better than he is. You know what I mean?
A lot of people like the idea of you pay less and you have the two goalie tandem, but
I don't think that works.
When's that ever really worked? You know, for a team that won the Stanley Cup. I mean, it's happened before, but I'd much rather have Vasi. And you know, when you're playing as many games as he does, nobody plays more than him besides Hellebuck. You're not going to win every game. And look what happens when our backup comes in. Everyone panics, and you know nobody likes JoJo because he'll lose every other game, but he's really not that bad. He doesn't play that much, so it's tough to kind of suit up once or twice a month, you know. And he will get action this weekend because we've got Utah back to back with Vegas, so it'll be interesting.
Do you think he'll get the start in?
I mean, I'd put him in against Utah, but
same. But I just was curious your thoughts.
Yeah,
don't put him against Vegas.
What was that, Thomas?
They'll put him in against Vegas because it's a West Coast team. So you're only losing 2 points. It ain't a swing, you know, for the East, anything.
Well, Utah's West Coast too.
Yeah.
Right. But I'm saying it doesn't matter. So they're not going to go for that. Play Vasi, the stronger team, play JoJo, the weaker team.
Gotcha.
Because it's only a 2-point thing. He's going to do Dallas, and then Dallas, you're going to try to keep him warm. So then you're going to put him in against Utah. And I think Vasi wants to start against Sergachev. And this is going to be a great game for Sergachev, Vasi, and Kucherov. And, you know, Sergey's going to score against us. Of course, somehow, some way, whether it's an assist or a goal, Sergey's going to score against us.
Yeah. He's gonna play his best game of the year, probably against his old mates. And if you can't watch Saturday's in Utah, but guess what? Sergey's coming to town next Thursday. So not only do you get Sonia singing, you're gonna get your Sergachev tribute. So it'll be interesting to see how great that is, and I think he'll get a pretty warm reception. I know a lot of people weren't as big a fan of as I was of Sergachev, but I think he's a great defender. But he's so young, still gonna,
and he's doing really well out in Utah.
Yeah,
when I can't sleep, like I'll turn on the Utah games and when they're on late, and I get to watch him, and he's doing really well out there. He is definitely. I mean, we miss him at the Lightning. I'm sure. I know I do, but he's definitely found a home and a good team with Utah.
Yeah, you always notice him. I do the same thing. I'll just put on hockey anytime.
Mikey Asimont did the same thing with the Kraken. Like he went from good. Doing nothing to he scored their only 2 goals in a game the other night. Like, I mean, they're finding their niches away from what they've known, and I'm sure that's hard, but. And it's hard as fans because you lose some of your favorite players. And like when my fiance worked for the Lightning, Mikey was always one of her favorite people to work with. She said he was one of the nicest guys she's ever met in her entire life. So she hated losing Mikey. But like he seems to have already found a fit in very well with the Seattle Kraken. So it's always good to see them go and succeed somewhere else.
I don't know if you can see that up there, but that will forever be my favorite player. And, you know, my 8 Stamkos jerseys say how important some of these players are, whether they still play for this team or not. So, you know, it's good to still follow. And it sucks when all of a sudden they start comparing ex-players. It's funny, the ones that we get rid of, it's always shame on us for getting rid of them. Look how good they are on the other team. For the ones that choose to go to another team or sign with another team, or we don't re-sign, then it's glad we got rid of them. Look how good we are without them. And I always find that funny because, Sergachev, there's a lot of people going, look how good he's doing in Utah. But then you have someone like Verhage, who we didn't resign and we let go down to Florida.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, look how you would have done. They wouldn't have fit. He wouldn't be playing the same minutes here as he played there.
So I mean, that's occasionally true, but I mean, the minutes they did play for us, they played well and they played their hearts out. They just, it's just nice to, when we can't keep them, see them succeed somewhere else.
Yeah. Oh, and here they're saying Sergachev's is a chicken farmer too. Did
you see that story? He's got chickens now.
And Stephanie said, Sergachev, bring Vasi and Kucherov eggs from the chickens. No,
I mean, I think eggs these days, he might as well.
They're going to Utah, and they're going to. Oh, Utah's going to be. That would be the game that I would play Vasi, because there's no drinking in Utah. So none of the players going out and getting drunk the night before. In Vegas they end up having that Vegas flu.
Vegas flu, yep.
So
not this year. We're not going to be there long enough.
No, I know, and there's be safe to the ones that are going out there. I know Serena's taking that trip, that back-to-back trip. Ellen is taking that back-to-back trip. There's quite a few people that are taking that back-to-back trip. So
that's awesome.
Have safe and be fun and represent. Last year we did this Detroit game. I'm not Detroit. We did the Dallas game, and it was so much fun in Dallas. So hopefully they have the same outcome tomorrow that we did last year, and that was a win.
Well, I'm going tomorrow to my sister's house to watch the game with my nephew. So hopefully Radish can score a goal while we're watching.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed. He'd be so excited.
Last chance. We're going to play a game here before we go, but I want to make sure everyone who's joined late gets in on the giveaway. Thanks to Tay and the Hockey Collective. She's got a signed Victor Hedman puck. All you have to do is make sure you go follow her on X. You see it right below the hockey.
Or Instagram. They can follow on Instagram
or
too.
Instagram. We'll take Instagram too. But you better do it, or she's sending me the puck. There it is. Victor Hedman, hashtag Heady. That puts you on the list right below her video. And that is the list we will be having that drawing from shortly. Now, Tay, you don't know this, but we haven't done it in a while, but we like to play silly games sometimes on this podcast. That's the kind of things you can do when you're an unofficial podcast. You can play silly games. So we're going to play a silly game. I guess everyone can play, but I'm going to kind of pit you two against each other because there's only three of us with microphones. And you were mentioning trading cards, and I've got some trading cards here, but they are not traditional trading cards. They are a little bit different. But I want to see who, whether it's one of you two or whether it's somebody in the chat, can tell me who is on this trading card. So I'm going to hold it up to the screen, and first one to answer wins a high five from me next time I see you.
A high five from me.
So the first one here, who is that? It is a current Tampa Bay Lightning player. This is a tough one. I probably shouldn't have came right out the gates with the toughest one.
Oh, they're fat.
Come on, chat. You can beat them.
I have no idea. Who is that?
Somebody knows.
Nick Paul.
Stuff. Somebody knows their stuff. You saw the comment. She got it. Mishi. Nick
Michelle.
Paul. That is Nick Paul. It doesn't look anything like Nick Paul.
Nothing like Nick Paul.
Right?
Oh my goodness.
So weird. Maybe this is wrong. It says left wing too. I guess he plays left wing too, but he's also a center. All right, so that's Nick Paul. I came out of the gates with a tough one. Let me give you an easier one.
Yeah.
All right, get ready in the chat. The chat's on a little bit of a delay, but you guys can answer now. Who is that fella?
Sorelli.
You got it. That's Tony.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
The ears gave it away.
The ears.
little Italian fella. Let's see who else we got here.
Everybody was saying Tony. They're on a little delay, but yeah.
Edmund.
Yeah, you got it. That's Victor. You can kind of tell.
100%.
These are funny. I don't know where I got this, by the way. We got 2 more. All right, this one's tough.
I think they gave them away one year.
And this is a current Lightning player?
These are all current players.
Chernak?
Nope.
No?
Point?
Nope. This one, he just doesn't look like him either.
I have no idea then.
Come on, chat.
Vassy?
Not Vassy. He's a skater. Left-handed.
Hagel.
Man. She got it first.
Michelle, I think, has the same set. She has the same set. She is very smart.
Yeah, that's Brandon Hagel. It doesn't really look the same. I guess if we look at our pictures when we were kids, we don't really look the same either. But that's funny.
Oh,
all right, one more.
This
one's tough too. This is the coolest picture though, out of all of them. On the
Stamkos.
Current players.
Chernak.
Oh, you got it. It's
yeah,
Chernak.
the blonde hair. The blonde hair.
Cherney.
And the same devilish look on his face too.
Ready to smash into somebody. All right. Well, good job, you guys. Good job, Michelle. You know your stuff, or you have these trading cards already.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's take a look. We got Dallas tomorrow. We know that. We're going to be watching at a watch party again. If you can't make it, we hope you can. But if you can't make it, we'll live broadcast it. You can see me and Schooley. And Schooley, I didn't send you the setup, but we have a much better setup. We're going to be in front of like a big TV. Like we're going to be like this. And the camera's going to be right in front of us. Yeah, we've got the Stars tomorrow, 8 o'clock puck drop. We're going to be set up and everything by 7. So come out early to Tampa Joe's, which is right off the Veterans, by the way. Super easy for most people to get to. And we already kind of talked about the weekend. Saturday, we've got Utah. That's a 5 o'clock Eastern game. And then the Golden Knights on Sunday night at 8 o'clock. And then we've got a Tuesday night game for the Penguins coming into Tampa. And somebody at the watch party may or may not win tickets to that game if we are giving away tickets, which we are. So that's your schedule for this week. We're going to be back next Wednesday, unless Thomas Schooley is going to throw a curveball at me. And I might have another guest lockdown. Let me just check. Yeah, I think so. I'm not going to confirm it yet, but it sounds like she's good to go. Paris Jerseys on TikTok. So at Paris Bolts Jerseys. I don't know how Thomas found this. I'm not a big TikTok guy. But if you go follow Paris, she's probably going to be on next week. It looks like she said she's good.
Is that the girl that's always buying Bolts jerseys? She collects jerseys?
She's got every single Lightning jersey.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask her to like show us the jerseys. Show us the goods.
So real quick, Tay. You would think Shooter was older than me because of the fact he's never on these hip things. Like when I just went
TikTok
to the
Shooter.
No, I'm on there.
I went to the Savannah. I went to the Savannah Bananas game. Like
so did I.
Wanted to do.
I went in Miami though.
He wanted to do the watch party Saturday, and I said, that's going to be a bad idea because 65,000 people are going to be at Raymond James. Almost everybody that I know was going to be there. And he's like, what is Savannah Bananas? And I'm like, oh my gosh. Yeah. And then I even asked his wife after last week's show, and she's like, yeah, that's that baseball team, right? I'm like, yes. So, he doesn't know that. Then, I found you and I was like, hey, let's book Tay. Now Paris Jerseys, I've been following her on TikTok. And then finally I was like, hey, would you come on a podcast and talk about your jerseys? And she's like, yeah. And so I'm like, Shooter, set it up, because he's best at talking to the people, and he's got the schedule down. everything else. So I'm like, you schedule the people, I'll find people. I don't care.
Well, so really quick, I want to say thank you to you guys because I have not really told my family about this whole the hockey collective thing. So this has forced me to share my happiness and my joy with them. And I actually, like I said, my mom and my dad are watching tonight. My dad took my mom to the airport. They're watching while they wait for her flight, and my brother and sister-in-law, and then the baby, of course. And then my little sister who lives in Tennessee is also watching, and it's the first time I finally gotten to tell them about it. So thank you guys for having me on because it forced me to kind of open up to a little private part of my life. So,
well, no, thank you. Not only for giving out pucks, but telling your story, starting this. It's a really cool story, and
thank you.
we love it. We like anything kind of hockey related with a good cause. So thank you for coming on with us. And look, you got the whole mic set up already. I was like, you jumped on, like you're ready to go.
I'm gonna be starting my own sports podcast. So I already had the mic set up because it was something that I've already started collecting the gear to make sure I have everything ready. So I'll let you know when I start that. But really quick, one thing I do want to say to everybody who's watching is if you ever want to donate an item or donate a puck to do as a giveaway, I will collab with you. You can reach out to me via my Instagram or my X account, and let me know that you have something. And what happens is you provide the puck or the item that you want to give away. I pay you for shipping. So when it's time to ship it out, you pay for shipping up front. I pay you for shipping, and then I promote it on my site and you promote it on your site, and that's how that works. So if anybody ever wants to do that, please reach out to me with whatever the item is and just let me know. Okay.
That is awesome. No, we really appreciate it. And Thomas, I'm meant to ask you, like, what do we have to do to make this podcast as entertaining as these banana baseball games?
You have to dance.
Stunts, and I got to get in shape and start ripping off my shirt. And they just get out in the fans. Like, it was what they did for 65,000 people, their first ever football stadium, was just crazy how they were able, if the player was not playing in that inning, they were up in the stands somewhere. The ones that had the night off and were not in the starting lineup or anything were up in the stands. You saw them all the way 300s, 200s, 100s. They were up there just doing things. So it was a good. A lot of people compare the Harlem Globetrotters that they are the Harlem Globetrotters.
That's what my fiance calls them, is they're the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball.
And actually, one of the players who's actually the coach of the Bananas actually brought that up today on one of his TikToks, and said how that if they do not want to only have the small window like the Globetrotters did, this is how they're going to have to differentiate themselves. I can tell you, my sister, we've talked about it before, had adopted a special needs child. He's a nonverbal cerebral palsy child, wheelchair bound. He loves watching sports. Loves watching sports. That's, if you go over to their house, that is what he's constantly watching. So like, we brought him, he's went to a Rays game, loved it. We brought him to, the problem with a Lightning game, I definitely would have taken him to a Lightning game, is the handicap seating. It's hard for me to get a hold of handicap seating for his wheelchair. But Savannah Bananas was able to accommodate us for the wheelchair seating for him. It was so much fun. They had such a great time. And then one of their players, who I had ran into him at a different part in the stadium, and he was kind of douchey, started walking towards us. And my sister had a ball for my nephew, and she wanted to get it signed from one of the players. And he was walking past us, and I was like, "Hey, KJ, will you sign his ball?" And he turned around and saw my nephew and was like, "Absolutely." And then they wanted to get a picture with him, so my nephew got a selfie with him.
Oh, that's awesome.
And he was really cool about that. And just the smile on my nephew's face, able to get that stuff. So just like you, and I'll tell any of your family that's watching this, sporting community, no matter what sport it is, a great community, and tends to change people's attitude and the way they are, it's something that will turn my nephew's day into something wonderful, just being there, the Savannah and Bananas game. So you never know, and sports is one of those things that can bond a lot of people together. And that's why I like you sharing your story, because it does, this hockey community, especially with the Lightning, because of the model that Mr. Vinnick has put here in the Tampa Bay area, is a family first atmosphere. But hockey in general has always been more of a family. They do that initiative. Hockey is for everybody. You've said things about it. I'm not totally buying into that whole thing, and I have doubts and stuff about some of the things they do. But truly, I don't, as a fan base, they accept everybody.
The fan base is fantastic. I will say, one of the craziest things about going to a Lightning game, I will say the only consistent thing that I struggle with at Lightning games, and it's always the same, I don't want to say type of person, but type of person. Like, I will go to the bathroom and I look as I look. I'm wearing a jersey. It's baggy, right? Like, people mistake me sometimes for a man. But I have had people at Lightning games say to me, "You're in the wrong bathroom," or "You don't belong in here," or things like that, like at Lightning games. And in this very same breath, I've had another woman behind me speak up and say, "She is fine where she is at." So it's like, there are the occasional fans that you just kind of try to avoid because their mentality is not an inclusive mentality. And then there are those fans who don't know you, don't know for sure whether or not you're a male or a female, but stick up for you anyways. You know what I mean? Like, so it's kind of a little bit of a tricky situation, because it sucks that I have those experiences. Like, my fiance now just goes to the bathroom with me because she has no qualms getting in somebody's face and saying she's fine. Like, she's the one, the defender. And so I don't go to the bathroom at a Lightning game without her or without another female, depending on like who I've gone to the game with. But I have had fans say to me, "You don't belong in here. You're in the wrong bathroom." But in the very same breath, in the very same second, another fan who doesn't know me from Adam say she's fine. Like, to that person. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I get stuck up for by another human being. So the fan base I've never had a problem with, except for those, few that feel the need to make a scene in the bathroom. But other than that, like, I've always had a good experience with any fans. And I found some of the coolest people through doing the Hockey Collective as Bolts fans and other fan bases. I will say I went to a Panthers game one time in my Kraken jersey because I wanted to see Grubauer play for the very first time in person, and they were horrible. Horrible experience. Horrible experience. Never had that experience at a Lightning game. I wore my Kraken jersey to a Lightning game one time because Grubauer was playing, because he didn't play that previous game in Florida, and so I wanted to support him. And nobody gave me any flack. Nobody was mean to me. Everybody was just like, "Congrats on the win," like, because the Kraken won. They were just supportive. I had on a Bolts hat too, but it was backwards. So if you're looking at me, you can't tell that I actually support the Bolts too, But I love this fan base and this group of people that are Lightning fans. They're all just wonderful. And you guys have just cemented that. You guys have just been wonderful from the get-go, inviting me on and everything anyways too. So yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we love sharing people's stories, and also, getting you more followers.
Yeah,
And like I said, anytime that we can find a way to get people to get merchandise, we're all for it. Whether we've had where some companies have reached out and we've gotten discount codes that we'll share.
Yeah.
We've done where last year when we were doing the watch parties at Cigar City, SeatGeek right now, if you can get, what is it, $10
bunch of games next week, $10 off. Yeah. Or no, $20 off.
$20 off your first account. Make a second account if you already used it before. But we used to have our watch parties over at Cigar City, and they gave us a whole bunch of swag to give away and stuff like that. And so, and that's what we like to do. We don't do it to be famous or anything. It's literally just for the fans and meeting new people and stuff like that, and hearing people's stories.
Well, I'd be happy to come back and join you guys anytime you need a filler. So just let me know. But and do a giveaway, of course, and I'll be throwing a few things at you guys for giveaways for your weeks that I'm not on. So just keep an eye out for messages from me because I have a couple things that I want to throw at you guys to add to your nights that you do because I know you do every Wednesday. So
Wednesday nights, yep. Just like how you saw your therapist, this is kind of my therapy.
Yeah, I totally understand that. I could see that. Well, how about we pick a winner?
Let's do it. We've got a bunch of people entered here. So this is your very last chance. Type it in quick. Hashtag Heady. And make sure you follow the Hockey Collective because I am going to hit select now for a winner right now. Let's do it. It is a random drawing, by the way. There's nobody choosing this except for some computer program. So we'll see who we got. If it's Serena again, I swear, you can just send it to me.
I forgot to enter.
T-Strum TBL Fan 38. I don't know who that is.
I don't know their first name, but I know they do follow me. I know that for sure.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, make sure you can message us or you can message Tay.
Yeah, and, just DM me your address, and I'll get it sent out to you later this week.
There you go.
Because you have to be verified to message you. So if they're not verified, you can't message you guys.
Oh, really?
So just have them message me, and I will get it sent out.
There you go. Congrats, T-Strum TBL Fan 38. And Tay, thank you so much for jumping on with us. Thank you for
having
being
me.
so generous and telling your story.
Oh, there they are.
And there you go. Whoa. Shocked and confused. I like that. The bagel looks like definitely AI generated profile picture there. I've been messing around with that Grok AI. It's pretty funny.
Hey, no hate. Come on.
Token Dave out of line here. All right, well, let's wrap this thing up. Tay, you got anything else to tell the people out there?
No, I don't think so. If you haven't gone to a Bolts game or if you're a new Bolts fan, make sure you get out and do it because it's a game changer. It's 100% a game changer. And if you need tips on things to do in the Tampa area, I'm sure these two guys could help you out with that. So,
T-Strum, message Tay on the Hockey Collective. And Tay, when we sign off, it's going to play a little small thing, but stay on and we'll be able to talk like we did right before we went live.
Okay, cool.
We'll talk for a few minutes afterwards.
Okay, cool.
All right. Make sure you go follow Tay, the Hockey Collective, the Hockey Co. No vowels in there. I'd like to buy a vowel. And We the Thunder Pod. Come join us tomorrow night at Tampa Joe's for the unofficial Tampa Bay Lightning watch party. Win yourself some tickets. Have a good time. Thomas Schooley's going to dance like a Savannah banana and do some Jello shots. So that's the promise he's going to
I heard
make.
you are too, just so you know.
Oh, I'm not a dancer, Tay. I'll hook up the computer so everyone can watch with us at home. But appreciate you again for coming on. Yep. Thomas Schooley, I will see you tomorrow, and hopefully we'll see a lot of you guys out there tomorrow at Tampa Joe's. Until then, this has been We the Thunder. Don't forget to be the Thunder.
That's it?